Hi, I'm Bianca.
And I'm Byron.
Welcome to the Self-Made Book channel. Today we're having one of our in-house chats.
Yeah.
Because the in-car chat thing, obviously, is not working right now. So in-house chat, and Byron,
Yes.
I want to talk about fear.
That's a big topic.
It's a huge topic.
So what do you mean?
The reason why I want to talk about fear is because I think recently I've had lots of calls and messages from people saying they want to start a new business or they want to start a new project or a new part of their business, but they're afraid. And due to that fear, it's stopping them from progressing or stopping them from, moving forward. And even in our mentoring community, like our mentees, they're on it. They've started businesses, they're doing well, but they're still afraid sometimes to launch something new or to try a new skill set. And so I thought it would be helpful for us to share our experiences of when we've been fearful.
Cool. So
Byron, when you decided to start any of your businesses or ventures, was there ever a time that you would like to share, of course, when you've been fearful or afraid of starting?
Look, I think, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, there is always a degree of fear, which is based on a result of there being some uncertainty. So if you're planning on going or being an entrepreneur, get used to and embrace a little bit of fear. It's always a good motivator as well. But of course, so maybe it's easier if we if I narrow it to say a particular case. Maybe let's talk about it from just starting a business. Okay. Starting one of my first businesses, maybe, and you know what? They're all the same, virtually, but there is always fear. When I invested into the estate agency, 2006, 2007, something like that. Of course, there was a fear, the fear of the unknown. I'm putting all my money into this project. So of course, there's it just comes with the territory. I guess now being an experienced entrepreneur who's created many successful businesses, as you say, you feel the fear and you do it anyway. So from my perspective, I just embrace it.
But so that's you now. But back then, what made you feel the fear and do it anyway? What made you, even though you were afraid of starting this new business, it was unknown territory, new industry, you put all your money into it, you were still at university, you were just starting out in that kind of serious business world. What made you do it anyway and overcome that fear?
Yeah, so I just, now I know a bit more about my reasons, kind of why, but I had a lot of clarity, and I know I wanted a lot more for my life. I know I wanted a lot more for my mum and my sister in terms of their lifestyle and so on and so forth at the time. And that was my and I wanted to live a good lifestyle. I like nice things, I like going to nice places, I like doing great, all these amazing things that you see on socials and so on. And I wanted to do that myself. And part of the way of me doing that was, by making an income to support that lifestyle. So I was motivated heavily by that success of that legacy of being able to provide for my family, provide for myself. And that was, so my goals were very clear. I had a lot of clarity on my goals, what I wanted. And when I looked at the obstacle in front of me, it was just a case of, cool, okay. So you get that fear and you look at the goals and you're like, you just got to go for it. And at the time there wasn't, whereas now, if I have a bit of uncertainty, I have people within my network that I can reach out to and ask and get answers quickly like that, right? But then I didn't really have that network, which would have saved me a lot of time, pain, stress. But then, I can't give you I can't remember as far back as some of those experiences, but I just had that drive to just always find solutions. Even now, I'm a solutions-based person. I fix problems. That's what I do, right? So yeah.
I think it's interesting you said, now you've got you've got a network you can ask the right questions of. I think that's so important, and I think that's one of those things that helps. I think now when we speak to our mentees in the community and they're asking each other, oh, should I do this, should I do not, should I not do that, or they put it in, they get that validation, they got that network to say, yeah, it's good, or it's good but it could be better, or I know you could do this, why don't you do that? Like that community really helps, and I think neither of us had that when we started our businesses, the community of people who were, we had people around us, don't get me wrong, but just not in the same way, I guess, or in the same industry or understanding what it's like. So I'll talk about mine since you didn't ask me.
You were talking, it'd be rude to talk over you.
Anyway, so
you like speaking. You can ask. I'm sure you can ask yourself.
Well, thanks, Byron.
One of these videos.
Oh, that's very kind of you. So for me, when I was deciding to leave my job to start a business, I remember being afraid.
Yeah.
So I know you're kind of saying, you might not, but I remember being afraid, and I remember thinking, knowing I wanted to do it, knowing what I wanted to do, but knowing I was venturing into the absolute unknown. And I think in addition to having my own kind of internalized fear, I also had obviously the passion and determination to do it. But I remember people saying to me, are you sure? Like, is this a good idea? You've got a good job. You've just bought a property. Can you afford to leave your good salary? That job has a good trajectory. You can do this, you could do that, you get your pension, your holidays, your health insurance or whatever. And so I think I had a lot of kind of naysayers. I also had lots of people who were like, do it, and whatever. My parents, my uncle, one of my uncles was like, yeah, do it, you'll be fine, you'll work it out. One of them was like, what the hell are you doing? Don't leave the job, are you stupid? So I got a balance of both, which is always important, I guess. But I think the biggest thing that helped me overcome my fear was what I now call my deathbed philosophy. Which is essentially, I never want to look back on my deathbed and think, why did I not try that? Like, what if I tried that? It could have been amazing. What if, rather than looking back and thinking, I'd rather look back and think, I tried it, it didn't work, it failed. Then look back and think, what if I tried it? And I think that's my biggest thing for overcoming fear. And then, so that's how I look at it now. I realise now that's what it is in terms of philosophy. But back then, I remember thinking, well, look, what is the worst that could happen? And I think we analyse risk differently, and we've talked about that in the book, so I won't go into detail about it. But I remember thinking, what's the worst that can happen? If this business fails, I'm still employable. I can redraft my CV. I can get back out there. I can even go back with my tail between my legs back to my old employer because they love me. Like that was my thought process. And I think
what's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen is the biggest one. Because I think so many people now want to start something or they want to try something, but they're afraid. And these same people were afraid when their job was stable. Now we're in a situation where economically the world is in a bit of turmoil. And maybe your job isn't stable. Maybe you might be facing a redundancy. Maybe you're on furlough right now, but you don't know whether you're gonna have a job at the end of this. What could you be more afraid of? Like, could it be worse? Or could you try something and it work and you have another stream of income? So that's what I wanted to talk about fear.
Cool. So digressing just a tiny bit. In fact, I'm not gonna.
Go on.
I was gonna say that said uncle. That was concerned about you leaving your job. How are they now about supporting you in terms of when you come up with something new? And then the second part of the question, to give you an out, would be I think that there's always a difference, right? So what I found is when I first started doing things before, I was always the guinea pig. I was always the one who went and did it, whether it was buying things in Wembley Market and selling it on eBay, whatever, right? To now, to starting new businesses. I'm the guinea pig and my friends would come on board and
after it's proven.
But also people just like, can you do that? Or they wasn't sure they were the naysayers, right? But now I find that when I have an idea,
people are wanting to jump on board.
They're like, there's a difference, right? So first of all,
because you've got a track record.
First of all, for any entrepreneur, you're gonna find this. It's gonna be so hard to prove to get people to buy into your idea And then tomorrow, like if I start a new product or service tomorrow that I've got no experience in, people will just think, oh yeah, if I start a new business, yeah, cool, yeah, well, that's gonna work, and they'll just believe it.
Because you have experience in business, though, I guess now.
Yeah.
Okay, you're green then, to some degree.
I have experience, yeah.
Not in that particular field necessarily, but you've got experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, right, like now, things like, you know, like Amazon selling, eBay selling, all these types of things that people are selling. I did that, I was doing that in 2008. Like, I got 5,000 or so, at least a couple of thousand positive reviews on my eBay account.
Yeah.
Like, and you know you don't get positive feedback for every single thing that you do. So, like, but now it's a thing. So
yeah,
it's the same thing. The market hasn't changed.
So in answer to your uncle question, interestingly, I've never brought it up with him, and I remember it wasn't even a conversation; it was an email, which makes it even worse, to be frank. It was just an email explaining why it wouldn't work and why I shouldn't do it, and I responded. I never got a response, and yeah, we've never spoken about it since.
Do you think they recognise that they sent that, or they don't really think about it?
I don't know. I wonder sometimes when people send something, they send it in the moment because they think it's potentially with good intention, but they don't think about the impact that could have had, or whether it was worth having a conversation instead. I don't know. And no, he's never said anything since. I've not said anything. And he's not particularly, I don't know how, he's not particularly invested or aware of what I do in business, I don't think. And
he doesn't have to be. It doesn't.
No. But my point, but you wanted to be when you wanted to say something negative, though. Where are you now?
You didn't ask for the...
I didn't ask for any
opinion. Just came...
Yeah,
it came without...
You didn't ask for any opinion.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, that wasn't clear. So the opinion came without...
Without request.
Without request.
Yes.
So something urged him or her to uncle to reach out and say, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've not had any, like, well done, I was wrong. Not that I want well done, I was wrong, but no, like, pat on the back, good on you, you did it. Thanks, Byron, I didn't need a pat on the back. I didn't, just nothing since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's bought the book or anything, I just...
Oh. So,
okay, I'm not mad.
So, guys, do you support your friends and family? You know, and I think you gotta be careful with the words that you use.
Yeah.
And
some of it is...
And I'm sure we are not perfect also.
Yeah.
I try to give an honest opinion. Do you give opinion when not requested?
Sometimes. I'm trying to be more conscious of it.
Yeah, interesting.
Sometimes but that's my point. I don't think it's not always out of...
It's because you see
it's not negatives, you see a flaw and you want to help. You think it's constructive.
It's not opinion.
But my point was, his email's not constructive. It wasn't do it this way instead, or why don't you try this, or this might not work, or I've got experience, why don't you do that? It was
don't do it.
Don't do it.
You're crazy.
You're crazy. Yeah. Whereas my other uncle was like, do it, you'll find your way.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. Sometimes you need a bit of both in your life, but yeah. Anyway.
So guys, what is your experience in terms of fear? We want to know. Put it in the comments below. Make sure you share this video with at least one person. Come on, at least one person. And we hope you enjoy the content. Many more videos to come in terms of interviews, news on a Wednesday, and then our chats. I think in the next couple of weeks we'll be going back to in-car chats. Yeah. Lockdown looks like it's easing. Please, Rona, go away so we can live to fight another day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I've been Byron.
I'm Bianca.
And Self-Made
is success.
Bye-bye.
Bye.